Hey, tech support, turn me up. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Today's podcast day. Get excited. You're not saying one thing. Your face is just...
Hello.
You should see her face before she gets into it. Hello, world. That's the beautiful Miss Glam with me, and I am your girl, Mohazel, and episode 19. Dang.
19.
Right? We're doing it.
We are.
I love it. All right, well, you want to get right into it?
Let's get right into it.
All right. Petty word of...
Weekly delight. Lord have mercy.
And that's the end, folks. Woo. What is in my cup? Is it tea or is it... Anyways, a little liqueur. I don't know, but, it's all right. I feel good. You feel good?
Let's get into it.
All right, let's do this again. Rewind. Weekly Delight, where we take person, place, or thing, inspirational quote, a book, some food, just anything that is getting us through the week. Anything that's keeping us pumped, keeping us positive, and keeping us right until Friday. So with that being said, you ready to go first, Miss Glam?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this.
I am thankful for you not saying Friday. That's my weekly delight.
Oh, you're lying. But I understand. I know. I'm corny when I say Friday.
No, my weekly delight does have to do with you.
Uh-oh.
Night out with the bestie.
Yay! Oh,
Yes.
That was so fun.
Yes, it was.
Yes. Okay, I concur with this. I co-sign this. Yes.
Yes.
So, okay, you can't just tell
We haven't been
tell
out.
me what we did. What did I do with you?
We ate and we drank.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
We haven't been out in ages.
Yeah, it was fun. We
It was.
talked. We were on a rooftop.
Yes, we were.
You know what I'm saying? We climbed up like 50 million stairs to get to the rooftop.
Good gosh. Yoga Booty was not
happy?
No.
Not happy.
Not happy
But
at all.
the thighs, though.
No, they weren't happy either.
But the drinks were good. We ate some good food. The environment was pretty chill. It was pretty vibey, right?
Yes, and actually my niece ate all my food.
Oh, she got leftovers.
She did. I ate like 3 shrimp?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, like 3 shrimp.
It was a good portion. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed the conversation.
And then I went into the refrigerator the next morning and...
Try to claim it. Does that happen a lot? You have leftovers and then somebody tries to snag it?
No, usually
Okay.
she stays out of my food.
Okay, that was just good food.
Apparently.
She sensed it was good food. She was like, ooh,
Apparently.
even the to-go box looks pretty.
So, apparently. But it was gone.
Yeah.
All of it gone.
Oh, well, I enjoyed hanging with you too, though. It was fun. I had a really good time.
You act like we have to do something to have a good time.
No,
like
we
it's not
don't,
okay
but-
just to sit and drink.
Okay, we moving on. You just deflated the fun out of the weekly delight.
Why did I deflate the fun of the week? I enjoyed it. We went out. We had drinks. I haven't been out in forever.
And you chose to go out with...
I think I was on the phone with you, so it was just kind of like,
Dang,
what?
see? Deflating. We're moving on. All right.
What was it? Oh, it was because tech support was, I'm busy. He had something he had to do, and you were
Yes.
free.
Yes.
And it was like, let's go out.
It started as a prank.
Yes, it did. And turned out to a really
Yeah,
fun night.
I was like, so just to give the recap, so, I'm on the phone and tech support can clearly hear us talking. Oh, you going somewhere? We too. We're going somewhere too. And I'm like, yeah. And then it's like, no, for real. We can go somewhere. I ain't got nothing to do. I'm like, yeah, wink, wink. And she's like, no, for real. Like, I'm trying to tell you, Heffa, we can really go somewhere. I'm like, oh, okay, let me get some clothes on. And then tech support's like, whoa, I thought y'all, okay, never mind. Bye, wifey. And we had the best time.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Well, my weekly delight is pool weather. It's
Oh, so you can tan?
yeah, it's tanning season for me.
Good God.
It is not tanning as
season.
in, to be correct, it's not tanning as in I'm going to a tanning bed. It is just, I stand outside just a little bit longer so I can get a little
2
bit
hours
more
is not a little
crispy.
bit longer.
No,
That is
sometimes I can
tanning.
tan in 10 minutes. Don't take my glory. And then she's staring at me.
We were on the
folks.
phone for at least 30 minutes while you were out there tanning, complaining
And that
about
was
the music.
Overcast. That was an overcast day, and I got a tan. Thank you for that.
No,
Thank you for
that was not
co-signing
an,
that. I
that wasn't an
appreciate you.
overcast day.
It was, but no, it's pool weather, so I can go in the pool, and yes, winter's gone. You know how I say winter's coming for all those Game of Thrones people.
Winter is coming.
Spring is coming.
Fall is over.
Fall is over. I'm on one. What is in my cup?
I don't know.
But yeah,
But I want
anyways,
some.
the point I'm trying to say is, spring is here, summer's here. It's warm weather. And so I get to go in the pool. Yay. No, it's not cool with you. This weekly.
I do not get in the water. My hair's not getting wet.
No hand clapper,
I'm not getting in the water. Like, pool weather is not fun for me.
I mean, you don't like warm weather, though?
It's not warm. It was 58 degrees this morning.
But then the sun came out. And now
it was 58 degrees this morning.
Well, you know how spring is. It's cool, and then it gets warm,
no.
And then it gets
when
cool
it's warm
again.
weather, we don't get anything below 75. That's when I'm happy.
All right. Well, all right, folks. Well, we tried to make it a weekly delight. Got a little derailed. That's all right. That's all right. All right. So are you ready for the topic?
What's the topic?
Okay. Well, it's called Reflections of an Empty Cradle. Now, for the listeners that might wonder what that's about, we're going to talk about our experiences and then also just kind of give some love to people who had a hard time either conceiving, such as myself, or have miscarried, such as Miss Glam, or have had stillborn. Just people out there that didn't get a chance to have motherhood the way they envisioned it, but it's still, there's life after, and some beautiful things come out of it, and it happened eons ago for us, but now we can kind of talk about it, maybe, inspire one, or let people know that they're not alone out there, right?
Right.
All right, so would you like to go first, or you want me to go first in telling the story?
You go first.
Okay.
I always go first.
Okay, you know what? True talk. Okay, well, with me, I am polycystic ovarian syndrome. And so pretty much what that means is I have hormonal issues that cause me to not be able to conceive. And it's not saying it's entirely impossible to conceive, but it's pretty hard. My chances are a lot slimmer than a person who doesn't have it. With me, got married fairly young, and I didn't want kids right away. And then when I got in my 30s and kind of had that itch, ironically, I feel like, we've been talking about Beyonce for several episodes, but I got that itch after watching her reveal her baby bump, right? And I said, if Beyonce can have a baby, the career, be on top of the world, I can do it too, right? So I got off the birth control, and I had been on the birth control for like half my life, right?
Yeah.
Half my life.
Yeah.
Tried to conceive, and year 1 goes by and I couldn't, and then year 2, and then okay, all right, what's going on with me? We decided to go to a fertility specialist, and we went through the process of diagnosing me with that condition. We had the surgery to see if all my parts could, work, which they did. We went through several trials, which are called an egg drop, which is where they kind of, inject me and to accelerate when my eggs would drop and then when they would kind of mature, and they just wouldn't fully mature. We went through the process of finding out if the count was correct. He was fine. He was good to go. And they put me on a diet where I had to do no carb, no sugar. Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, I was like crack skinny. It was bad. I mean, for the record, if you want to lose weight quickly,
no carbs,
without exercising,
no sugars.
Eliminate no carbs, no sugar. It will melt off your body.
You couldn't have anything white, right?
I couldn't have no bread. Certain cheeses I couldn't have. It was just bad. Nothing good. And of course, that's when I get offered all the good stuff. I think I went to a wedding, and that was the first time I saw a s'more bar. S'mores. Yeah. Come on, man. Just stuff I loved. I couldn't eat it. And then I had to get put on diabetic medicine, and I wasn't a diabetic. So I went through a lot, and I didn't mind it, but I stopped at IVF. And the reason why I stopped at IVF, one, the stats aren't too high for if you can have a child or not. But you know that going in. But it felt like the last step for me to conceive on my own. I froze because I felt like if I didn't have a baby out of that, in my mind at that time, I felt like, well, I'm not a woman, and I didn't want my spirit broke quite yet. So I hesitated on it. Talked about adoption, just wasn't in the cards. We even talked about surrogacy. I had some beautiful people, including Miss Glam, offer together collectively. We just chose not to do that, but it was hurtful. I felt like I wasn't a woman, and I couldn't get true enjoyment from, being around others that were getting pregnant, because it was, why not me? And I didn't want to take from them, so I had to kind of seclude myself from that. I tried to surround myself with people who couldn't conceive, me. When one would conceive, then they leave the group, and next
yeah.
thing you know, you the last man standing again. So it was just a process. It took me to a dark place. I don't like to say I was fully depressed, but I think I was probably close to it, just because I couldn't figure out why. And then I had to learn the beauty of you're so more than what you can't have. If you can't have a kid, doesn't mean that that's the end of your journey. There's so much more to you.
How did you come to that point?
I started talking to women who didn't have babies, older women who've kind of hit that prime of, obviously we're not going to have kids, came to that realization. And I started talking to them, and man, I tell you, having those conversations with them and knowing that they had moments of sadness, and then having partners, or some didn't even have partners, but having partners or having that village around them that let them know that they were okay. And then also realizing that they don't have to be a mother to be important to children. And I mean, it's kind of common knowledge, but when you're in that dark place and you just want a baby, you don't realize you're an auntie, you're a godmom, you are a mentor, a role model, a teacher, so many things. And those are all a part of raising that village. They may not be your physical children, but they're your babies. You know what I'm saying? And at that, I got 50 million babies out here. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Jokingly, but I mean, they are special to me, and you don't have to be a physical mom to be important to a child's life. Yeah.
That's true.
So what about you, Miss Glam?
Mine was, maybe 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Might have been. Maybe 9. It was a long time ago.
It
was a long time ago.
Definitely. Not last year, folks.
No.
Not last year.
I was much younger. Obviously, I wasn't married because I've never been married. Mine was not a weird situation, but I got pregnant. Didn't realize I was pregnant. I was late.
Yeah.
I was really late. So I went to the doctor just to find out what was going on. And then basically at that visit, the doctor was, well, technically you're pregnant. However, your levels aren't where they're supposed to be. So you may be going through a miscarriage.
Right.
But they weren't sure because back then, I weighed 95 pounds soaking wet.
Not $1.25, and that was
yeah. So they didn't know if the weight made a difference.
Right.
So that was the thing. They were, keep an eye on it. And that lasted about maybe 2 weeks before I had the miscarriage, and had to pass the tissue and all of that stuff. Sorry if that's too much information. I didn't tell anybody. That was my personal choice. I deal better with things inside my own head, and making sure I know how I feel before I share with others.
Right.
Didn't tell anybody. When it started, took 2 days off work. I was home. I was in bed. I was reading. I processed it, analyzed in my head, and when I couldn't deal with reality, I went in my books, then came back out. That was for 2 days.
Yeah.
In and out of going in my book world, out processing, then just me. Then went to work. Everything was normal after I processed everything. Maybe a month or 2 later, I think I told you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I may have told my parents. I mean, they know now, but it wasn't it was after the fact. But my parents at this point, they know how I am. Stuff happens, I deal with it. They know about it afterwards.
Yeah, fair. Your family was supportive, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Nobody. Yeah.
No, I mean, my family learned a long time ago, there's no sense of going, why didn't you tell me? I could have helped you. I didn't want anybody to give me hope that, no, I know what the doctor said. The doctor has told me what it is. Right. Let me process what the doctor said. If something changes, then fine. However, this is the avenue I'm going with. And I didn't want anyone acting like I was pregnant. Mm-hmm. Because as far as the doctor says, yeah, but not really. I didn't want to get attached. Right. But I wouldn't have been able to do that had other people been in the know and, nope. Right. I'm just going to.
That's a choice.
Yes, it's a choice. So, and then honestly, I don't necessarily know if that was the ultimate reason, because there are things that happen. I'm not a sharer until after I've processed, after I've dealt with my emotions, then I share. Yeah. Because sometimes when you share, for me, if I share too soon and I have people in my ear and you should feel this or you should feel that clouds my head and it takes me longer to get better.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Whereas if I take the time to, this is how I feel, this is why I feel it, this is what I need to do to get better, that's always come from me. Right. So sharing doesn't help me process. That clouds my head with all the extra noise. Mm-hmm. So I need all of that away. And then once I'm okay with whatever and I've processed how I feel, I know what I need to do, I've formulated my plan.
Right.
I know how to get better. Then I can share.
Got it. And you're entitled to that. I'm glad you let us know. And I'm glad it didn't happen that way, that nobody in your world made you feel ashamed to do it the way you did. Just do it.
No, and actually, like, some good conversation came out of it. I learned my mom had a miscarriage before me.
Yeah. And my mom, you know, she obviously had me, but it was hard to conceive. So that was good to know. And I have other family members that had a hard time and didn't conceive at all. Yeah. So you don't feel alone in that sense.
Well, and honestly, like, I learned a lot about, like, my mom and, you know, my grandma. Things that I don't know if they would have necessarily shared with me, because I mean, I don't think people think to share that stuff.
Right.
So
it's not the coolest topic to talk about at a party, yeah, or
so
water cooler.
Having known that, it was like, oh, it is more common. Right. So because, like, some of it was feeling guilty of, because I don't take the best care of myself in terms of I'm always on the go. You know, I take care of everybody else.
Yes.
So was this my fault? Did I cause it? You know, like, going through all of that.
Right.
And I had to come to terms with that, you know, myself, without someone going, no, baby, it's not your fault. Like, that's what you're supposed to say. Yeah. Let me figure that out, because I'm not going to believe you, because I know you love me and you're going to say that. Yeah. I need to make sure that I truly feel and understand that it wasn't something I did.
Right. Now, you know, I'm just curious. I know for me, did it ever bother you, you know, like watching the news and seeing where people mistreated babies, that just would break my heart when I saw that. Did that do anything for you at the time? Or, you know, were you able to understand that your situation was yours alone and not be affected by what was going on in the world with other people's children?
Yes, but I think that's just because of how I think it's how I
Yeah, girl. Yeah, that word.
I think I think it's because of how I internalize and deal with my emotions. You know, I'm sure people have realized by now, and you definitely know, I'm not an emotional creature by habit. When I feel something, I overanalyze it. Mm-hmm. I think because I'm that way, I was able to separate. Yeah. I think what bothered me was whether or not it was in the cards for me. Because in the sense of, yes, I was sad, but it didn't truly feel like a loss. But I think it's because I didn't let myself go there.
It happened so fast.
It happened so fast. And I, basically she told me, not really.
And can I ask you really quickly, from the time you learned to the time it passed, how much time was that really?
Maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just so people can, have that understanding of why it was a little bit, it's never easy, but how you were able to.
Correct. Because I mean, basically it was like, I give my doctor credit. Had she approached how she told me, like, you're pregnant, it would have been a little bit different than, well, so yeah, but no. There was never
she
really
didn't give you a chance to celebrate.
Yes. Yeah. So it was kind of like a prepare yourself, because your body is doing something, but you really don't have a baby in it. Like, that's how it was told to me. So that's how I was accepting it.
So you're pretty much saying that had you gotten the news and enjoyed pregnancy for a while.
That definitely would have been a lot harder.
So are you grateful that it was done? I mean, I'm about to be insensitive.
I know, but I'm very grateful for how my doctor approached the situation.
Yep.
Because that helped me to stay in the mind frame I needed to stay in.
Gotcha.
To process.
Gotcha. And, for me, I will say, going through all of it, it felt mechanical, going through the different types of stuff. It was, everything was, let's do this. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. And, I didn't feel emotion. It felt like, let's just get it done. It was almost like going to work, but it wasn't, like I said, when it was slowly starting to take a toll. When you're first doing, you're like, all right, what we got to do? You just G up and you say, all right, what we got to do? And we're going to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean, even when it sounded ridiculous, I'm like, you mean I can't have ice cream? All right, let's G up, let's do it. You know what I mean? And I handled it. But it's like, as more time, because just to be clear, so yours was a 2-week. Mine was a span of a year and a half.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Because I, no carb, no sugar diet was damn near a year.
Yeah. Woo! I remember. I couldn't take you out to eat anywhere.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was, but so that whole process, And like I said, I still didn't get to the end because I stopped. So it could have been much longer.
Mm-hmm.
But that gun-ho spirit slowly started to fade. But yet I still had to G up and go in there. It got to the point to where I literally, every time I went in that doctor's office, it wasn't fun anymore. You know, you got all these baby pictures on the wall, and it just felt...
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but it just felt like I'm like kind of speechless on it. But it's like, no, it gave me no hope. That's what it is. It gave me no hope. I came in hopeful. That hope went away. So every time I came, it was just a reminder that I'm going through the motions, but I'm not going to get pregnant this way. And then, like I said, when I did talk to the people, different people, and I will say, shout out to like how you're giving shout out to your family of just understanding that you chose to do it alone because that's how you work yourself out. Shout out to my family. I know in the beginning when we got married, it was, we're going to have some babies. We're going to have some babies. And I was like, listen, we want to play. We want to have some fun. I think when they slowly realized that we were trying, they realized it wasn't happening as fast. Everybody stopped with the pressure. And I think that helped because, my mom is not going to be a grandma. My dad is not going to be a granddad. Like, I'm their only. So that was, I felt on my own like I disappointed them. You know what I mean? Granted, they never made me feel that way. And then for tech support, I'm taking from him having kids. And that's something he wanted. But I will say, to his credit, thank goodness, I would always constantly check in on him. And he was like, we're good. I'm okay. I'd constantly check. You sure you don't want to have kids? Are you okay? And he's like, I'm okay. If we can't have them, I'm okay with it being just us two. And I should believe him, but I had to keep, almost like pinching to see if it's real kind of a thing. Yeah. And luckily that helped a lot. It made it easier. So then it was just me in my head. And once I finally, and that was the
I think that's the hardest, is getting out of your head.
It's not easy. You know what I mean? Because again, it's almost like you overstimulated with just, okay, this person is on their 5th kid. Oh, overstimulated. Okay, I just saw a lady, go to jail for abusing their child. Oh, overstimulated. Oh, I'm at a baby shower and everybody's talking about baby stuff and I don't know how to relate because I don't know what they're talking about, right? Because you don't know until you're a mom. Oh, I can't get invited to certain kid parties because I'm not a mom. Overstimulated. And so once I finally started, researching, which was talking to other women that have been there, done that, and realizing they're okay, then I started looking at, well, why do people have kids? And one of the reasons is for legacy. I know that's more of a man thing, but legacy, like, what you teach them, you're producing this beautiful being that's going to go on and change the world, right? Yeah. Well, I decided, fine, I'm going to be that beautiful being to change the world. I'm going to try to do positive things. And that's kind of where I kind of morph into this positive, hippie type person because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be the change that I wanted to create. I'm going to, and I'm not sitting here acting like, I'm, the perfect person on earth. I have flaws, but I'm just saying I make the conscious effort of if I can, do something great for somebody's life, that's leaving a legacy because I gave that person a smile. And that's what my legacy will be, is the giving that I, all the giving and all the love and all the little projects I started up that gave somebody life or gave me life. That was going to be my chapter, my final swan song. That was how I was going to ride out into the sunset. And that made it easier for me.
I don't know. Well, so around this time, my niece was born. And I was already, I was over there all the time anyway.
Yeah, so, she was a cute baby doll. Not that any babies are cute, but she was a cute, chunky little baby.
So I think that definitely helped.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, sure.
I was in school. Like, I had a lot going on.
Yes.
So, and that may be why I'm so close to her. But she did help me through that period because it was thinking about, this allows me to focus and spoil her. This allows me to go through, finish school, like looking at the positive of finish school, work, spoil my niece.
Continue school, girl. You just... still going, but keep going.
No, I'm done. But it was focusing on the lights. Okay, now I can give, my sister-in-law a break. Go rest.
Yeah.
Let me have the baby. That type of thing. That was, just focusing on the positive and just staying out of, and also doing check-ins with myself.
Yeah.
How do I feel? Am I okay? Those things that helped. I think for me, it was more of maybe the guilt of maybe I should have been sadder. Maybe I should have been more upset just because of the way it happened.
But you do know how it happens is the way it happens.
Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
but I mean,
there is no right or wrong.
Absolutely. So it took me understanding that,
But that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because, how do you react? Especially.
No, there's no right way to react.
Yeah.
There's no right way to react. Yeah. So that's where I struggled the most was, should I be hysterical? Should I be crying in the bathtub? Like, what? Dealing with all of that. Because I'm not an emotional creature by habit. I always go inside my head.
Yeah. Although, are you crying inside your head? Is it like...
No.
Sorry.
And I mean, like, when I'm inside my head, it's just me processing of, oh, I'm sad. Like, it sounds...
I know what you mean.
It sounds robotic, but...
You actually feel it. You're just not...
I don't show it.
You don't visually show it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, it's inside and...
So you are gooey.
I'm sad. Why am I sad? Like, that's just me. I have to... I talk it out in my head. But I wasn't... I guess it surprised me just the level of sadness. Mm-hmm. And maybe... And, like, I knew I was prepared for it. Because the doctor, get prepared, this is coming. So it was trying to reconcile the fact that I'm prepared for this. However, yes, I'm so sad. And this is, because it was a different experience for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know what to expect. Like, I'm a preparer. I prepare for everything.
Right.
It wasn't really something you could prepare for.
Okay, really quickly, just go down that. What was it like, if you can explain it, if you feel like you're able to explain it in a different way, what was it like to be a preparer and to have someone give you something that you really couldn't prepare for? What was that like?
Oh, I still try to prepare.
Oh, okay.
Like, that
all
was
right. Your solution.
Yes.
I'm okay. You think I can't plan for this, but I'm going to
Absolutely.
plan for this.
So, okay, this is coming. And she didn't tell me exactly when. Okay, so, I researched, like I learned, 15 and 20% of all pregnancies end in miscarriage.
Right.
Okay, this is, there are a lot of people that go through this. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me Google. Let me find people's experiences, what this was. Okay. How they deal with, like, that's me. I research things to death.
Right.
I'm trying to learn. Okay. This is what to expect. Okay. Here's how I'm going to, but how I felt wasn't something I could prepare for.
Right.
It wasn't something that I could.
So all that research still made you go through emotionally the way you did it.
Yes.
I got you. That's real talk.
Yeah.
That's real. Actually, I'm glad you said that, because for people who do prepare and have either a birth plan or, when they get married or don't get married, but choose to have it this way, like, you got to be okay with still, like you said, do what you got to do to kind of prepare yourself, but realize that there's still that possibility that it could surprise you what the outcome will be in life when it comes to having babies.
And that's kind of why I took 2 days off work, because it didn't go how I planned. And I think that is what got me.
You were strong until you couldn't control what you couldn't control.
Well, it was more of I didn't expect to feel the way I felt because I'm prepared. I know this is coming. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be sad. I know it's coming.
Right.
Like, okay. And then it was, but should I be sadder? Should I be broken down? I think I had too much information in my head, and then I had to be okay with how I'm dealing with the situation.
Got it. Now, I will say, for me, only thing I would like differently is for women who do have kids. We're not lepers. We're not an exhibit to just look at and tiptoe around. We're human beings, and you don't have to necessarily talk about it to us because, like you said, you didn't want to talk about it. You had processed it. You're moving on. For me, I don't necessarily have to talk about it. I just didn't want to be treated differently. And so for me, what was weird is going from talking about trying to conceive, and then I kind of went quiet on it. So not many people knew that I was doing all that underground stuff to try to get pregnant. And then, of course, comments, why aren't you guys pregnant yet? What's wrong with sperm? What's wrong with your insides? You know, all those little backhand shots that were in loving jokes. They were hurtful. Yeah. It was like, y'all just don't know what's really going on behind the scenes. So just treat us like normal. And like the whole, everybody's expected to have babies. Some people don't want to have kids. And some people, it's not that they don't want to, just can't. And that they have to be okay with that too. So maybe as a society, just, you know, having that empathy and check on them if they want to be checked on. I'll say it like that. You know, I can respect when somebody says, give me my days. And I will emerge out like a butterfly. And you did. You did. And for me, I think I finally did. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I was able to recover from it and not let it define me. But yeah, to all you beautiful women out there, you know, I guess when we close and wrap this up, let's close with some advice to these beautiful women out there that aren't able to have a child, or maybe did and miscarried, or, you know, maybe they did go on to have children, but had to go through some dramaful steps to get there. What advice can we as women give to our sisters out there that hurt just like how we hurt?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was realizing I'm entitled to feel the way I feel, and how I choose to deal with it is how I choose to deal with it. I think, and I did not know whether or not that was this is your one shot. I did not know that, because that was my misconception as well. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, why my mom was, you know, sharing with me, I had miscarried right before you. Right. And didn't even realize I was pregnant with you. It was, you know, a nice surprise, but I struggled with the same thing too. Right. So to know that, you know, I wasn't alone. Someone else had gone through it too. Right. And I told you, I think it was last year, where, you know, I went through all the tests because I haven't had a child. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm actively trying, but
you just wanted to know.
You know, yeah. When you hit to a certain age, your doctor starts going, and you've never had a baby?
When you hit 47. I'm playing, y'all. I'm playing.
You know, you've never had a baby. Your clock's ticking. Can you? Well, I don't know. I'm assuming.
Your eggs getting old.
Apparently, that was my new doctor. That's what she told me. So she's like, you might want to get tested if you've not been pregnant. And I went, well, sure. Okay, fine. Let's go through the ropes. And I did. I went through it. Everything's fine. And I can conceive. And I just haven't. Everything's working the way it's supposed to. And, you know, and then that took questions of, well, do I want to? Am I ready? And then it brought back to, well, if I am not ready and I don't, what am I saying? Like, you go back to, well, am I happy I had a miscarriage? Right. You go back to that headspace.
Yeah.
So it was dealing with all of that again in new context.
Even when you've said, okay, I'm good.
Yes.
It finds its way sometimes of creeping up.
Yes.
And to that, you're right. It comes out of nowhere.
It does. Yeah. So because I had thought that was done, dealt with, wrapped up, I had to go back to the headspace and go, am I okay with that?
Right.
So.
Are we done?
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I've been blessed. I get to co-parent with my niece. So, no, I have not had a child, but I've gotten to experience the love of a child. Yep. Like those things that the throwing up in the middle of the night, the crawling when you were sick, yep. The rah-rah, you got AB honor roll, the constant, if you one more time,
I will take you out. We love on them and then we threaten to take them out the world.
You know, like I've gotten to experience that.
Yeah. And that's still so much to experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it became okay. So if I choose to, okay. But I'm okay where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So people, you will be okay.
Yes.
I know for me, I guess I'll come from the place of a married couple because that's, how I did it. For all you married couples out there, I know as a woman, it's your body. You're the one going through it. But please be okay with checking in on your partner too.
Yeah, because they're going through it with you.
They're going through it with you. And lean on each other. And being okay to disagree on it. He did not want to adopt. the surrogacy option wasn't a thought for him, and fostering or even exchange student. I mean, I was just trying to, I was getting creative, girl. And nope, don't want it. I used to, why? But, you know, and I would find people, well, they adopted there, and I would pose them on him. And he was like, no, that's not what I want. And then, like, for me, I didn't want to go through IVF. And people like, but I thought you really wanted to have a baby. And I chose to stop. And you know what? It's okay to say no to that. Who knows? Maybe it could have, but I didn't want to take that chance of a heartbreak.
You knew your limits.
I knew my limits. And he knew his. And so I had to respect it, because at the end of the day, it's still going to be us. Yeah. For instance, when the kids are gone, they're off to college, or it's me and him. Yeah. So be right with the person you started this adventure with. We always said, if it's something one of us didn't like, we choose each other first. And I've seen couples fight and get the kid and then divorce. Yeah. And that's not what you want. And I'm not saying, divorce. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying your idea was for it to be you guys. And you let the same thing that you guys wanted so much be the reason why you're breaking apart. That's different, because it's one thing when parents just say, hey, we just don't get along. But it's another thing when the kid knows I'm the reason that you guys couldn't make it. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard, right? So don't do that. So just check in with your partner and be okay if one person says, this is too much. Including your husband or your male partner or your female partner. You know what I mean? Like, whoever it is, be okay and check into each other. That would be my advice, because at the end of the day, I'm totally fine with whatever the universe wanted. Yeah. Because me and him were able to
and I think for me too, like, it became a realization of whatever happens. Mm-hmm. The only thing you can do is accept it, learn from it, grow from it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that will end on that. That's a beautiful note to end on. Whew.
Heavy topic.
Wow, heavy topic. And now we gonna go into petty word of the day. All right, we doing it. And
let's
you know what?
Petty.
We gonna do it. And
let's get petty.
Yup. Woo! Slap myself. All right, petty word of the day. It is usually my favorite segment of the day. And pretty much we learn a brand new vocabulary word and we try to put it in a sentence so the viewers can understand the definition of the word fully. But on our show, we put in a nice petty sentence. So, Miss Glam, are you ready to go first, dear?
I am, but I'll go ahead and put my disclaimer. Mine's not really petty.
Mine ain't either. Oh, I love you.
Well, I mean, so I've seen some of the work that you've done in the room, and I want to give you credit.
Uh-oh.
So my word is bower, and it's a noun, means an attractive dwelling or retreat. Mohazel has made a quaint bower for us to record in.
Yay! Including mine?
No, Big Ben can go.
I love Big Ben.
Yes, only because I hate Big Ben.
Well, that was sweet. I appreciate you, Pumpkin. I appreciate you. And mine was really nice as well. Let's see. Let me see if I can get this word
So
right.
You need to clean it up. Is that what you said?
No. Magnanimous.
Stop picking words you can't pronounce.
Magnanimous.
Stop picking words you can't pronounce.
Magnanimous.
Really?
I don't know. But it's a noun, and it's someone...
Is it a word that if you can't pronounce it, do you truly know
an adjective. See, look at me. I'm going to start this over. And my word is magnanimous. I don't know if that's the word, but we're going to go with that.
Is it truly a new word that you know if you can't pronounce it?
Girl, I mean, I know the definition. I know how to spell it.
Because you're looking at it.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, don't have me in front of a spelling bee. No. Magnanimous. If you say it fast, it sounds legit. Magnanimous. It's an adjective. Someone who is noble, generous, and forgiving. I may rag on Miss Glam quite often, but deep down, I know she is a magnanimous person.
No, that would sound so much sweeter if you could
I knew the word.
Yes. Because you might be calling me something else.
A girl, I don't even. I need one story. I don't know if I gave you how to pronounce that word, but we will spell it correctly on Facebook and Instagram.
And you can see if you can pronounce it correctly.
Right. Anyways, real talk, I enjoyed having this conversation with you today. We went deep, but we tried to keep it a little light with a little laughter in between, just because, obviously it's a sign to show you that we have survived.
It's been years.
Yeah.
We've dealt with this.
We've dealt with it, and you will too if you're going through it. You're not alone. So thank you for tuning in. Miss Glam, you have anything else to say?
Until next time.
And we are out.